Alright, so I'm finna explain to you about black people, white people, and Asian people. Now I'm back on 3D terms and shit. I done came back down on 3D terms and shit, so I can explain how this work. Now I just need to find a shirt and I can get into explaining this shit. But I'm finna let y'all know what's the difference between black people, Asian people, and white people. Now, I want to start off with black people, and then I'm gonna do white people, then I'm gonna do Asian people last. No, in no particular order or anything. Just that's how I feel like doing it. Now look, Asian people, they more no, fuck Asian people for this. Black people first, cause I feel like that's the easiest because I am black. Now look, black people, we more the spiritual type of motherfuckers. Black people more spiritual. Black people more talented. Black people more tapped into the spiritual nature. Black people more divine and shit like that. Because being dark, the darker your skin, the more in tune you is with the unseen and shit like that. So a real dark person can be like real spiritually powerful, or like all dark shit is representing the unseen, and the unseen deals with more like what unseen to the normal two eyes of a person always being aware of everything. Now black people, we more of the motherfuckers who can see shit that other motherfuckers can't see. Like say for example, right? You hang out when a black person hang out with a white person, that shit be fun as fuck, right? Yo, you know why that shit be fun as fuck? Cause the white people, they got the money, they more dominant on the shit that's seen, so they got the money and shit like that. So since they got the money, they don't really know how to have fun with the money. They just know how to have like basic fundamental fun with the money. Like they'll say for example, right? It's a cookout. And in order to get into that cookout, you gotta pay a fee of $25. Now, what white people do, and I'm gonna tell you what black people do. What white people do is they be like, okay, we're gonna pay $25. We're gonna cook out and just sit there and think, and I don't know what else they do, but they just sit there and just live it how it is. Black people, on the other hand, are more creative and shit like that. So it's not. It's just that's just how it is. Cause black people are more tapped into the unseen and shit like that. So they deal with more imagination and shit like that. So you might as well say all black people got ADHD, and ADHD is basically in tune to a different dimension. Why you think black people, when they are always the motherfuckers who gain more traction in sports, singing, something, etc., dancing and shit like that, because black people more creative than white people. Now I don't know why the fuck people saying, oh, white people they need black people. No, everybody need to get that shit out of the way, because that's a misconception. And the other misconception of what else is it? Black people don't need white people. Nah, it's white people wouldn't be nothing without us. No, be quiet, because look, the white people in this situation are even with you, both ends, whether you're participating in this shit or not. It don't matter if they give you direct money. They're already participating in you. So white people are over on you on a whole nother level too. So they ahead of you. So if when you over there complaining, talking about some, they stealing the dances and shit like that. How they be? They be like, y'all dancing and shit like that. Y'all dancing on their platform and shit like that. Y'all dancing on their shit. So white people in their head be like, oh, we own this shit. We own all this shit. All the dances and everything. We own everything. And then that's when the white person game developer will make the dance in his shit, cause white people already feel like they own everything. So cause that's just how white people are. Just that white people are just like that, dog. So when people are just like seeing how they when people seeing how white people are just stealing dances and shit like that. White people feel like they own those dances because y'all dancing on their platform, they iPhones and shit like that. So it's just fucked up in that situation. Now look, it's some funny shit though. Like niggas be when white people. So basically, summary of this shit. When black people be dancing on white people's phones and shit like that, white people already feel like they own a lot of shit. That's just how their brain is. They feel like they own everything. Like, that's just how they is. White people more dealing with owning on the outside of the world and shit like that. They not dealing with all that inside shit. They dealing with the outside world. So sometimes some white people don't really tap. They go too far into that everything ours. And then that's when you see that they stealing dances and shit like that. But white people already be thinking like we own this shit. So anyway, look, I would have thought the same thing. Like shit, y'all dancing on our platform. Our platform. So I would have thought, hey, I'm finna shit. Now look, black people more. So as I was saying though, like more black people deal with more creative shit, more unseen shit. White people now on the other hand deal with more of the scene shit. That's why when a black person can get next to a white person and the black person who hanging with this white person get to see more different shit, but the white person get to see the same old shit but experience it way differently than what he used to experience it as. He used to think this was the same, just basic old shit, but the black person who with them is making that shit way more magical, way more story-ish and shit like that. Black people make the shit more story. They add more of the juice into the story. White people just make the whole scene happen. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's just how that shit is. Like, damn, black people like you want to say fertilizer? Shit. Nah, yeah, black people, they just grow that shit. White people just make that shit already there. Like, that shit. Damn, that's some crazy shit. Now look though, now both races. Now I don't know if black people and white people get with it. Damn, I got them fries in the oven. But look though, if black people and white people freaking get with each other and stop hating, then everything would be so much better, bro. Like, imagine this. One of my fries cooking. Alright. But look, that bit would be so much better because like the white people can just pay it away, and then the black people, they can just sit there and do their thing, and we come together at the end, and it'd be like victory. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't like that. So I'm bad, but it's not like that. So it's like, damn. Now Asian people. Now look, Asian people are more like. Let me put my shit up. So look, Asian people are more like How can I explain Asian people? Asian people are more like they kind of like more the motherfuckers who are in depth about life. Like Asian people are more about yin and yang, certain how life works, karma and shit like that. That's Asian people. Asian people, you can call them more of, they're not really like black people, and they not really like white people either. They're like a tiny bit mixture of they're like a black person. Asian people, look, Asian, hear me out on this shit. We at 8:50 right now. So Asian people are more like the logical, spiritual of a black person and a white person. So they're like spiritual, but their spiritual has logic to it, like yin and yang. Like, so say for example, they see how it's universal concepts outside of them, but their shit has more logic to it. Black people can just believe on shit and that shit just happen. That's why like a black person can blow way more faster than a white person trying to do some shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how that shit go. Or a black bitch might gain more traction. That's just how that shit is. Now look, where we at? So now yeah, so black people more like spiritual, but they don't have as much logical sense as Asian people. And Asian people, they got more of outside world view, but they deal more with like the logical part of it too. So Asian people are like the middle. They're like they're even or. That's why you kind of see how their lives are not too much partying and it's not too much boring shit. It's just like in the middle. Like they're still enjoying it and shit like that, but they're not. See, they're not too like they're not too out or in the spectrum. Like they're just in the middle. Now look, Asian people hanging with a black person, that would just make things way more interesting. But it's like you don't really see it as much coming together. For the reason being, I don't know, but you don't really see it. It's kind of like, you know that those two raw ass artists that make music and they be in the game, but it's like they make the best music, but it's like they never come together. Like it's like they never come together. Like you would be like, this artist and this artist raw as fuck. They need to make music together. Like this other artist was probably saying his name in the song when before he gonna got famous and shit. And y'all like, man, why this shit won't come together? But that shit would be fire as fuck though. But we don't never see it come together. That's how a black and an Asian person would be. Like that shit would be fire as fuck though. But you barely and you rarely never see that shit come together. Like but you'll see like a black person hanging out with a white person. But you would never really see a black person hanging out with an Asian person trying to do shit together. Like it's rare though. Like it's some rare shit and it's some cool shit if it do happen. But it's something that you rarely see happen. Like you not gonna see happen with them. You know what I'm saying? Now look though. Now Asian people hanging out. Asian people. Now when I'm talking about Asian, I'm not talking about just Asian. I'm talking about the whole entire Asia, the Chinese people, etc. All that shit over there. I'm just breaking down the three types: the black people, the white people, and the Asian people. Now they're more as I was saying though, they're more who I was getting on. So I got on the Asians, I got on the blacks. Now the whites. Now the whites, they're more like smart. They're the brains of us. Like they're more already smart. Like they own everything outside. So like whites own the movies you go to. Whites own things outside. Like they're like more, they own things outside and the external. If you know what I mean. Like they own all the Walmarts you go to. They own all the bridges and shit like that. That's how whites are. And that was just a way of thinking. That's just how white people think. They're thinking more of owning on the outside, and sometimes they most likely get the fulfillment, and their fulfillment is not really much. So their fulfillment, they can make a lot of money, and their fulfillment, they don't need much to fulfill them. So because they're not really as emotional as black people. See, black people need more fulfillment than a white person. A white person doesn't really need as much fulfillment to feel satisfied than a black person. Black people got more soul and shit, so they need more fulfillment and shit like that. Like white people sit at the dinner table, and that's fulfillment to them. Like just going to the dinner table, that's fulfillment. Black people got more a different type of fulfillment. They got more of saying like, I don't know, I can't really explain it, but black people have a different way of showing fulfilling for shit than white people. White people show it in small ass ways, like they just real small ways, like there's shit ways you would just think are just regular fucking moves. Like shit's crazy. Now I just broke that shit down. Video going up. I'm back from my vacation. I'm balanced out. All chakra balance. All my shit says, and I'm out.